when he says that 200 years of inactivity had been imposed by the papacy, by the major secular powers of the world, if you go back 200 years, where do you arrive? You arrive at the time of the French Revolution. He's saying the French Revolution imposed 200 years of inactivity upon the papacy, and that inactivity is imposed by the major secular powers of the world. Are you with me? Ellen White wrote 100 years before Malachi Martin wrote. And notice what she says. Let the restraints now imposed by secular governments. Who imposes the restraints? Who imposed the restraint back in the time of the Roman Empire? The civil power. But when the civil power was removed and the sword was given to the church, the chains fell off. The restrainer was gone. Are you with me? So when it receives a deadly wound, is this power restrained again by the secular powers of the world? Yes. Let the restraints now imposed by secular governments be removed and Rome be reinstated in her former power. And there would speedily be a revival of her tyranny and persecution. Let me ask you then, what is it that keeps the deadly wound in place? The fact that the state does not allow itself to be used as the state was used during the Middle Ages. When will the deadly wound be healed? When the sword, which turned against the papacy, will arise and be given once again to the Roman Catholic papacy to do what she did during the 1260 years. Allow me to read you a very telling statement by John W. Robbins. He's a Reformed theologian. He's not a Seventh-day Adventist. He quotes actually Ayn Rand, who wrote this in 1967. Notice what it says. The Catholic Church has never given up the hope to reestablish. What does reestablish mean? Must have lost it, right? The Catholic Church has never given up the hope to reestablish the medieval union of church and state. So are church and state united today? No. She needs to reestablish it, right? With a global state and a global theocracy as its ultimate goal. The Roman church state is a hybrid. A monster of ecclesiastical and political power. What kind of power? Ecclesiastical and what? Political power. Its political thought is totalitarian. And whenever it has had the opportunity to apply its principles, the result has been bloody repression. If during the last 30 years it has softened its assertions of full, supreme, and irresponsible power and has murdered fewer people than before, such changes in behavior are not due to a change in its ideas, but to a change in its circumstances. Folks, because it has a deadly wound. Notice what he continues saying. The Roman church state in the 20th century, however, is an institution. This is not a Seventh-day Adventist. I don't think he interprets Revelation 13 the way we do. But he says, the Roman church state in the 20th century, however, is an institution recovering from a mortal wound.